Okay, Julia Driscoll, let's chat.
All right.
I could not say that in like a relaxed, chill way.
No. Thanks for having me, though.
But bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy you're here.
Me too.
Second time over visiting.
Yeah.
Updated studio tour.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah, the last time. That was fun. That was like a little over a year ago because it was actually probably like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
We were doing like a holiday jewelry dish.
It was like October-ish, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I brought a couple friends. I still have the dishes.
that's awesome.
I loved that.
Yeah, that was really fun.
It was fun.
I know it's nice to think about how to do different things like that here because I'm always on the go, but it's interesting because like I don't have a bathroom down there.
Sure. But it's fine.
I do have a sink now. That's an upgrade since when you were here last. But it's like, yeah, it just kind of has to be sort of like friends and acquaintances that I'm
Which it
doing.
was.
Yeah.
And it was nice to meet some new people, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. But coming up to the bathroom up here, it was fine.
Oh my gosh. And then the kids too. They were like, wouldn't go away.
Yeah, they wanted to hang out.
It's like, okay, guys, it's time.
You gotta go.
Oh my gosh, that's your future.
I know.
I know.
Crazy.
I know. With the little one.
Everything's happening too quickly. I feel like I grew up so fast, so I'm trying to
I know.
slow down.
Yeah. How old is she now?
8 months.
8 months.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know. 8 months is a lot of fun. I feel like I keep thinking like time's going so quickly, but also every age is so fun. She has like a little personality now, and so
Yeah.
it's fun.
I know. It really is so much fun. So like motherhood is always so interesting to me for anyone, obviously people in creative careers too. Working mom, creative, it's a lot. But I always like to kind of like go back. And I guess for anyone who's listening who doesn't know Julia yet, Julia is the executive director at North River Art Society, which is in Marshfield, but open to anyone to come and join. And it's like, I consider it like my home base art community.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It just feels like it's people who consider themselves artists, people who don't consider themselves artists, just like artsy things coming together for classes, workshops. But it's like you'll be sitting next to in class an artist that you've maybe admired for years, but everyone's just there sort of like building community, learning new skills, having fun. And then of course the all the events that are always happening. It just seems like a safe place. Don't feel any competition in any type of negative way. Like there are competitions,
Sure. Yeah.
but there's also shows that like if you're a member, you can just get a piece in.
Yeah.
You know,
To have that balance. I think that's the goal with North River too, is like it's a welcoming, approachable place where anyone can come and learn. And it is like that mix of hobbyist artists and some really amazing professional artists too, which is cool that you can take a class with them or from them. So I'm glad to hear that's how you feel.
Yeah, I really do. And so I like have so many more things to say about North River, but so let's go back because I'm really interested in early exposure to the arts, different forks in the road you may have taken that have maybe been like decision points that have led you towards this creative path that you're on.
Sure.
So I know you're also a South Shore girly.
Yes, I grew up in Norwell.
Very local.
Very local. And I've just always been like art's just always been a thing that I have to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel that way. I don't remember, just like growing up, I was drawing, painting. I learned to sew. My aunt taught me to sew. She was a home ec teacher in Braintree.
Ooh.
And my grandmother was a seamstress. So in like middle school, I was sewing my own clothes. And yeah, just like always was something that I did.
That's great. So your aunt and your grandmother.
Yes.
What about like in the house?
No. So my family was a big sports family. I have two older brothers. And they were always like, do you want to play hockey? I was like, no, definitely not. So yeah, I think like my dad is very handy and like crafty in that way. So there's that. But there wasn't like art around.
So at home as a kid, did you like have little corners of space that you'd like kind of elbow out for yourself for a little studio space? Were you like hoarding art supplies?
Yeah, my room was like a good mix of art supplies and like all the kids stuff. But yeah, I think it was definitely an interesting dynamic where like um a little like black sheepy of the family, but like my parents always were like, this is cool. Like if you're into it, do it. So
Yeah, and you're the baby girl.
the baby. Yeah.
The baby girl. So everyone's like, well, whatever you want.
Yeah, you're perfect.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's good. Once
Yeah.
baby girl always. Yeah, so that's great though that you had some people in the family who were
Yeah.
pursuing creativity.
Mhm.
Learning how to sew at a young age is so powerful.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I wouldn't say the stuff I was making was like good. I remember I one time made a pair of shorts that was like one leg was really long and one was short, and people were like, "What is this?" But I thought it was like awesome.
And the
Um,
Funky Brewster.
yeah, but
It's a vibe.
it was fun. And like definitely like the segue into what I do now, kind of.
Yeah.
I try to work in textile a fair amount still, but yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you what about like elementary school, middle school? I am familiar with the Norwell High School art program and
Yeah.
that's very solid.
It was good. Yeah. So I did like AP art in high school. And then I would say I bounced around a lot after high school. I actually transferred schools twice,
Mm-hmm.
and I took like some time off in between. I wasn't really encouraged to go into the arts after high school. And I think it wasn't because people didn't like support me or like believe in what I was doing, but because there's a lot of like not a lot of understanding of what options are out there for artists. I think a lot of people just think like if you study art, you're going to be like a struggling artist and there's no other career path. But so I eventually found my way into art school. I went to Lesley
Mm-hmm.
in Cambridge, studied graphic design, and I was there for like 2.5 years before I graduated, and I loved it there.
Great.
So I'm so glad I found my way there eventually, but I do, looking back, wish like I had done
Mm-hmm.
all 4 years, but
Yeah. It took me 8 years to get a 4-year degree.
yeah.
I went to Rhode Island College originally for early childhood education,
Mm-hmm.
but like had always done art.
Yeah.
I was like always doing art. So I immediately took my art elective first semester. And it was in that class that I think something about what the teacher said, I realized like, oh, I can actually have this be my focus, even if I want to do education. So then I started trying to transfer to mass art, which I wasn't prepared to do portfolio wise. So I went to Massasoit.
Okay.
And then, so like similar
Yeah.
trajectory.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all the while, like living in apartments, so having to work and support myself. And, but like, it's so funny. It's like, I don't know, people see the struggling artist trope sometimes is maybe seeing an artist working lots of different jobs and changing career paths all the time. But like, I mean, I know for myself and a lot of artists I know, we're kind of like natural entrepreneurs too. So like, that's not a struggle for me necessarily. It's like a joy.
Yeah, that's something we like to do. Like it seems chaotic probably, but we like it.
Yeah. Once I get something totally figured out, I'm like bored.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not fulfilled. No, I know. It's interesting. And I think that's why like what you're doing with Creative Pathways is so important because you're telling kids like even within our small community, like there's so many opportunities for things you can do in the arts.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't know that when I was growing up.
I know, exactly. And even I was at an elementary school in Brockton yesterday, and that's always part of my intro. Like, we're here to do this project, and I'm going to get into that. But I'm also here to let you know, like, you can actually pursue the arts. And I explain, like, I work lots of different jobs.
Sure.
So this week I'm doing these 4 different jobs, but it's all together makes one job.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, I don't get all those different jobs over time. Like, I worked in corporate for a few years because there wasn't anything else, you know, but like prioritizing studio time and studio access has always been number one. So it always finds its way back.
Yeah.
So you studied graphic design
Yes.
in college.
Yep.
And did you try to jump into a graphic design career after that? And also, while you were going through this sort of like high school to college, were you still sewing, thrifting? Like,
Yeah.
what was your relationship with fashion and textile throughout that?
Fashion has always been like my number one sense of like expression.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a quiet person, more introverted, and so the way I would like show people my creativity or like try to stand out was through what I was wearing. So I've always collected vintage, thrifted, sewed my own clothes. So that's always been something I was doing. And I think during, especially like in college when you don't have any money, like I was thrifting most of my stuff. And I would find good pieces and set them aside and all that stuff. So when I graduated, I jumped right into like a graphic design career path. And I was working at like ad agencies, creative agencies, kind of like trying to work my way up the ladder, so to speak. And I remember the job I had was working at Arnold Worldwide, which is like a big ad agency in Boston. And they were kind of like, you should like start looking for a new job because we're not doing great. So I took like the first job I could get. And honestly, I took it for the money. It was a like super 9 to 5, really like uninspiring job that I just hated. Literally, it was like super soul crushing.
Were you commuting into Boston?
I was living in Austin at the time, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I was in Boston. And so to like supplement that, I started selling vintage and making clothes.
Great.
And selling it and going to flea markets. I would go to Somerville Flea like every weekend and sell. And that was kind of like my creative outlet there.
Great. And so that was like your spot. That's where you sold. Did you try to pursue selling stuff online?
I did. I was doing Etsy Depop. Was Depop around then? I don't remember. But I was trying. And like Instagram. I was selling stuff through Instagram. And it was successful and it was like doing well. And to your point, like as soon as it started doing well, I was like, I'm bored of this. I would do something else, which is like classic. So, but around that same time was when Grace and I started Wicked Women, and that kind of took off. So there's always like these things that are like, you know, crossing, and then like that was a big priority for us too. So
okay,
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So during this time up until what we're talked about now, were you making 2D art, as in like paintings, collages?
I was, but like just for myself. Nothing that I was sharing. Stuff that I was sharing was like vintage and textile stuff. But I was always sketching. Like I have a million sketchbooks and paintings from that time. And actually something we used to do with our friends was I would bring like all of my art supplies over and we would all hang out and do art. Call it like something silly, like I don't know, art night, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we would like hang everyone's pieces as like a little gallery. It was very fun.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, that was always fun. And like now we're all like, you know, older with kids and like I miss, you know, those times.
Yeah.
We could do that again.
Oh my gosh, Megan Dinsmore and I, who I can't believe I haven't interviewed. Got to interview her.
Yeah.
Marshfield's high art teacher and director of the Marshfield art program for the whole school district. She and I lived together when I was going to college, and we would do art night.
Yeah.
We never like hung the stuff that we should have done that. And then we have continued as adults.
Good.
We've only done it a few times because both of us, you know, again, kids, jobs, all this.
Yeah.
But there has been a couple times where we'll meet at her studio.
Fun.
Yeah, and just make stuff.
Yeah.
And pass like my sketchbooks around. She'll pass hers around.
Right. It's part of like that collaborative experience. But also a lot of my friends would never call themselves like artists or like creative in any way. So I think it was a lot of fun for them to like feel like allowed to do that. And that was the only time they were doing that. So that was really fun. And like by the time we moved, I had like a huge stack. Which honestly, like I think I threw out and I wish I had them all.
Right?
So sad, but that was fun.
Oh my gosh, so fun. I love that. So were you living in Boston still when you started Wicked Women's?
I was living in Quincy and then Zach and I bought a house in Kingston like right around the time when we had their first one. It was like November of 2019. Um, so we were transitioning back to the South Shore, which was why we were like, we need to create this event on the South Shore too.
Yeah, because you're used to having the Somerville flea market,
Right,
did you
yep,
say?
yep.
And having that, so you're kind of like, all right, I need something like that on
Yeah,
the South Shore.
yeah. So Grace, who I met in high school, and we were really good friends, and now is my sister-in-law. We started it together, and she was doing a similar thing. She was working at Puma, definitely more in like a creative aspect, but also had like a side hustle, if you will, of making earrings. And we were both like doing the grind and going to the city and doing these markets. And we are like, now that we're on the South Shore, like we should do this here. So we started, our first one was at her house in Marshfield. And it was a lot of fun. It was like, we didn't know what to expect. I think we had like 10 vendors and I think like 600 people came, which we were like really stoked on.
I know, that's so many, because you like, when you're curating an event like that, you're kind of thinking like, all right, if every person has like, I don't know, 10 to 20 people come just for them
Yeah.
collaboratively, that's good. But yeah, getting that huge number, 600.
Yeah,
like
we were
600 people the first one.
Yeah. It was very exciting.
So who are these people that came?
I don't know. People were like lining up. We did a ton of marketing around it. I don't know. I think it was the aspect of it was in a pony barn at Grace's house. And like, I don't know. It was just like very grassroots. People just showed up. It was crazy. And like parking was insane. So I don't know. It was cool. So that was like the first moment where we were like, okay, we can really do this.
How do you market for an event that has never happened before?
Just get the word out. Tons of like Instagram. Somehow, I think some local like news station picked up on it, and we went there and interviewed. Like so many flyers, word of mouth, like all the avenues that you can think of. And I think, yeah, just like getting the word out as best as you can.
I like to hear flyers too, because I think that when I think of flyers, I'm like, where do I even, what do I do with a flyer? But I guess like coffee shops.
For sure. I still do that for North River.
Yeah.
I think like a good flyer catches people's eyes. And I like to look at them. So
Well, and you're a graphic designer, so you could probably bang them out.
Yeah. I think that too was like a nice benefit to the marketing, is like I had that eye for it, and I was able to kind of create a brand around it that was exciting, and create like some like eye-catching material. So
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're marketing for an event that's never happened before. You're getting the word out in these different avenues: Instagram, flyers, news station, but then also having a consistent brand identity. So people who are seeing it for the first time aren't feeling yard sale.
Exactly.
They're feeling like curated event.
Right. It was like a one-off market that could easily just be like advertised like anything else, but it had a whole brand around it. And I think that was what made it seem special and exciting. And we had like live music. We had like a jazz band there. We had coffee. We were like went big with it. So it was exciting, I think.
That's great. And were you paying the jazz band?
It was like a friend of a friend or something. So I don't think we pay them a large amount, but a little bit.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, because for the first time event, you would kind of, I feel like, need to get someone who is willing to donate.
Right, exactly.
Donate their time, because you're just kind of like, I don't know how this thing's going to actually go.
Exactly.
No proof of concept here. This is the proof of concept.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like the classic artist trying to support artists, but none of us have money. So.
Yeah.
Like, I want to pay you, but I don't know how. So, but yeah, I think there was like something there, but yeah.
Great. So when you were there, were you selling your vintage collection?
I was. Yep. I was selling my vintage. Grace was selling her like a number of the other artists were like related to North River Arts in some capacity,
Mm-hmm.
whether they were like on the board or educators there or volunteers like Sally Dean,
Mm-hmm.
Laura Harvey.
They were selling their work
Mm.
there.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they have followings.
Yes.
They're great.
So that too. Yeah. Getting the people that have big followings was also a big help. And their work's amazing. So
Okay, so how did you get them? Were you involved with North River already at this point?
So I think what happened was my mother-in-law, my current mother-in-law, was like knew Sally. My husband grew up with Sally's daughter, Maddie.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think she kind of just like connected us and was like, you should sell at this market. And then Sally just brought in her friends. I think that's how it happened.
Amazing. Sally Dean,
Sally, she's the best.
the best. Also another person on my list. I'm going to interview you, Sally.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Coming for you.
I'm just going to send you a calendar invite. Yeah, okay, that's great. And like I try to like do this chronological, but it really forces me just sort of like jump ahead a little bit and just say that one of the things that I love so much about North River Art Society is that it was started so long ago that it's just like this amazing gift that each new generation of artists inherits from the previous.
Yeah.
And it's like you just have this solid group of mentors that are available, and you have people like Sally and Laura Harvey who are just like, hey, yeah, like down for whatever.
Totally, yeah. No, and then like North River is mostly volunteer run. Like we couldn't operate without volunteers. And so I'm super grateful to all those people that like dedicate their time to making these things happen. And then also I feel really lucky that there are people involved whose parents were like founders of North River. And so they have like extensive knowledge of the history of North River. And it definitely has that like family feeling. Like a really tight-knit community, but also like welcoming and warm. And yeah,
it's so nice that like you were moving down to the South Shore and you're like, okay, we have to like create some sort of a market situation. But we didn't have to create this. Like this other thing, it's so nice that we didn't have to create it. Because I feel like so often, I mean, with Creative Pathways, when I decided I wanted to go into this community work and like be working off-site and going to different locations, I spent a significant amount of time researching where I could like get a job.
Sure.
And then I'm like, okay, there isn't a job doing this. So I guess I'm just going to have to create it, which ended up being great and worked out. But I would have taken a job.
Sure.
Just been a hired employee.
Right.
So to have the capacity to be able to build other things and then still feel supported by my home art base and my home art community that I didn't have to build, I can just like drop in and out of because it's so well established. Not that it doesn't need continued support because of the volunteer efforts and everything else. But yeah, it's a really nice home base.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2019, you're back here. Wicked Women has been running annually, which has been so great. It is known by creators and shoppers alike as like the place to come shop. People are not browsing at this market.
No, it's serious.
People are coming with their entire list of everyone they need to buy stuff for and are like, okay, I'm going to find something somewhere for everyone on my list. It's fantastic. It's just very good vibes. And yeah, people are like practically selling out their work. It's fantastic. It feels so good. So you've continued that. I know you've gone to a couple different locations. And then meanwhile, what was your transition into North River? Because I know it happened right around pandemic days, right?
Yes. So had the first Wicked Women. The women that were in the market that were connected to North River saw the success and they were like, can we work with you in some capacity? So I was helping them with social media and like promoting their events just like on a volunteer basis. And then of course we all know the pandemic happens and I got laid off from my job that I honestly hated. It was like, getting laid off is always terrible, but it was a good thing. North River then offered to hire me as the office manager, which had been open for some time. And like technically they weren't even open. So it was mostly just like an online thing. But that's how I got involved in North River. And I've been there for like 6 years now.
Amazing. So it was really the idea to bring Somerville Flea in the way of, by the way of Wicked Women's Market, which is a totally different thing and it happens annually, but like that spark of that idea you were selling it there, you're like, I want to do it here, and now you have the connection to North River, and now you're like the executive director there.
I know,
it's what a whirlwind. It's so true though. It's just so interesting to me, and this is one of the reasons I like to sort of go through people's lives chronologically, because there's so many different little forking paths that we have that you can't necessarily plan for.
No, like who I would have never known any of this would have happened. Like what a crazy path in life. But yeah,
you just have to sort of be like open for it, know generally what you want to do. Like I always know when I have decision points coming, I'm like, is this going to give me more or less studio time?
Sure. Yeah, I think like prioritizing things that are important to you, and especially as like an artist and a creative, that's whatever like creativity you need to make time for. And I think kind of like letting that guide you is going to lead you in the right direction, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, at least towards more creativity, because it's like you do have to make sacrifices. But like, who cares? If you figured out a way to like make art all the time, then it's like, I don't want to, it's actually a problem. That's all I want to do.
Right. You have to cut yourself off sometimes. Almost. You're like, I got to make some money. Yeah.
Or even like just like have dinner with my family.
That too. Social interactions and
stuff. So it's interesting to me because it must have been a little maybe like 2021 or something like that I really like, I knew about North River, but adjacently almost. And I can definitely track it back to now when I know you were running the social. That's when I realized that anyone could be a member.
Okay, good.
In my head, no one had ever said this to me. Just I had made this up myself in my head that you had to live in Marshfields.
Oh, interesting.
To be a part of it.
Okay.
No idea where that came from or anything. But I remember with just like some of the marketing and stuff you put out there, I realized that, and it was so exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh, just anyone can be a part of that. And knowing that you have member shows where just anyone can submit and be a part of that. Just really great opportunities there. There's great discounts all over the place.
Frame Center. That's a big one.
Yes, I actually just made a purchase there and forgot to add my 10% discount. So I'm going to have to make sure I do that next time. And then like it's only what is it? It's like under $100 a year.
Yeah, it's
annually,
like
right?
Starts at $30 for seniors, and then it's like $50 for individual for a year.
It's amazing. And then if you take like one class,
right, it's worth it. Yeah, you get your money's worth there. And it's just a huge way to support North River. It doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it adds up for us, and there's like no expense to our membership. So that's a huge way to support us. It's pretty much like a donation to North River.
And also you guys have a great list on your website with everyone who's a member that you can include a link to your artist's website or whatever. And that's just like another really great networking tool too, to be able to put yourself out there, but also to go on and look at everyone's stuff at this directory.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll get calls from, like last year, I think I got a call from Ocean Spray, and they were looking to get a painting done of some cranberry bogs. And I just like point them to our membership list, and I think they found someone. I forget who it was, but yeah, it's a great way to get your work out there.
That is great. I love that. So, so how often are you guys turning over the gallery shows there?
So I'd say It depends on the time of year. Right now we have like a week or two downtime between shows. But in the winter it's a bit more. So we try to have one like um at least monthly, every other month sometimes. Yeah. It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm doing my window painting at Frame Center, I'm usually there every, I don't know, 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, it's right.
And yeah, there's always,
Mhm.
North River's always got something up there.
Yeah, yeah. I love having the shows and like having art in the galleries. People when they come by is so important. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
And how planned out are those? Do you have shows booked for the next year?
We do. We have like a standard calendar. We have a full or a couple spots that we switch it up. But for the most part, we have a consistent calendar of shows that we don't super stray from.
Yeah, like categorized, right? Like
Right.
focus on figure.
Yeah, so we have our figure show. We have the poster show, which actually opens this Saturday. We have our festival exhibit. And then in the summer, we do like a fundraiser usually. And then in the fall, we have our member show. And then we have, I'm blanking. I feel like there's one more.
In the winter, don't you have like a holiday?
Oh, yes, the holiday art sale.
Yeah, the holiday art sale.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then at the start of winter, we just started doing like a themed exhibit. So
Okay.
we had In From the Cold.
Yes.
It's like a winter theme. So next year we'll do something different.
Cool.
Winter. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And is that a conversation that's happening with the board?
With the board, with various committees, with the office staff. It's very like I said, like grassroots, and we're like, we can like, you want to do this thing, and like it's just us doing it, so let's do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's also a lot of work because we're the ones that are doing the work, but it's fun to say like just like pick a theme and go forward and like dive into it. So
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have dropped work off
yes,
to be shown before, and it is a huge operation because you guys are sometimes showing over 100 pieces of work for one show. So I mean, I guess a lot of this stuff was maybe already kind of organized and templated out for you when you came in, but just staffing and the organizational structures from people dropping their work off, having everything organized, making probably a zillion accommodations for people who are late or can't drop it out here, or like, can I da da da, or to then hanging the show. And then, of course, the marketing that goes around it, having the actual opening, taking the work down. Like, what is a day in the life like for you on a day where a show's going up?
the show is going up. So like you said, we have the intake, which is usually like 2 days, a couple hours each day, where you can come drop your work off. Typically run by volunteers. And there, like you said, there's always people that are like, I can't make it. We have exceptions. We try not to, but we do. And then hanging is a big undertaking, typically like 5 to 6 volunteers. I enjoy hanging, so I'll usually help out. Same with our office manager, Michaela. And that takes a couple hours, I'd say. Now, there's a lot of like consideration of like pieces that look nice together. It's like an art form in itself, honestly. Hanging is it's a lot of fun, but it's challenging too.
And what is your hanging system? You're not banging nails in the wall, are you? Is it the suspended wire?
Yeah, it hangs from like a piece of trim on the top of the wall, and then there's like slidey brackets that go up and down. So yeah, it takes time to like get the height right and like match all the pieces. And then yeah, like you said, like marketing it, getting word out there, having artists promote it as well is really helpful. Artists that are in the show. And then the opening is a big undertaking in itself. So, but like I said, lots of hands, many volunteers. We have an arts committee that helps run a few exhibits. They're super helpful. It's a group of like, I'd say like 10 to 12 women that have been involved in North River for a really long time. And they're just like amazing.
We are so lucky.
I know.
We are so lucky in this community because it's like, you live here for family reasons. I live here for family reasons. You know, it's like I wasn't going to move to a destination for the arts, although I'm obsessed enough that you would think you know, and it is actually something I considered at different points in my life. Did you
Of
ever
course.
consider moving?
Yeah, I was like, I'll never live on the South Shore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live abroad. I'm gonna live in New York City, and then
Mhm.
it's where your family is, and
Yeah.
it's home. And ultimately, we're so lucky to have a really vibrant arts community too on the
Mhm.
South Shore, and one that feels like really, I don't know, like not pretentious and like really open. And the people I've met are some of like the greatest people I've ever met, and like they'll be in my life forever. So I'm really happy that I am here.
It's so it just seems so unique where it's like
Mhm.
really a community vibe, people really wanting to support each other,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, send work around to each
Mhm.
other. Oh, I heard about this job. I heard about that job. Everyone, this grant. Everyone applied for
Yeah.
this grant.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, there's no competition.
No,
Yeah.
it really is. It's just unbelievable. I'm
Mhm.
so grateful for our community here.
Mhm.
And I feel like people might move here for it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think they should.
No, right?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. And yeah, we're just so lucky to have these like women, mostly women, I guess I'll say, that
Yeah.
have like come before us and like, and like charge the path so that we can do what we're doing too.
So great. And the festival we have to talk about because that was one of my first introductions to North River Art
Mhm.
Society. My Aunt Patty, her mom
Mhm.
was a part of like the quilters group.
How cool.
And so her and her mom would go every year. It was a whole thing. And my aunt taught in Marshfield.
Mhm.
So she was just like, there was like a couple years she told me to come and I didn't make
Yeah.
time for it or I was working or
Yeah.
whatever. But when I finally went, I was just like, "Oh, yeah, right." She's like, "Yeah, I've been telling you." That is another market where artists
Mhm.
sell their work and where people go to shop.
Yep.
And I mean, it sounds maybe obvious. Yes, it's market. People are going to shop. Like, that's not how all markets are. Like, there's
No.
plenty of markets that are out there where people are just like, they're for the event, they're for the vibes, they're to like walk around. But this is definitely one of those markets where I think people know that they can find some really great
Yeah.
treasures, really nice original work, and work
Mhm.
from artists that maybe aren't showing
Yeah.
all the time.
Mhm.
Um, and then I mean, and it's, there's just so much going on live music with a huge roster, lots of different musicians from like children to professionals, the art in the barn sale. And will you tell me a little bit about the art in the barn
Yeah,
sale? Because like
definitely.
I've walked through it, but I've never put anything in it. And I
You
feel like
should.
I should.
Yeah. So Art in the Barn is probably one of the bigger draws of festival, I would say. Our neighbors across the street are incredibly generous and let us use their barn to put out bins of artwork that artists submit. So I think you can submit up to 20 pieces per artist. You have to be a member, but like you said, anyone can join.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of the art is stuff that people just like have piled up in their studio. And so it's really affordable. Um, I think last year we had like 70 artists or like it was a huge amount of artists. So there's a lot to look through.
Hmm.
Um, it's how I have most of the art in my home. Like you can find some really incredible stuff in there for great prices. And it's all local too.
Right.
And so yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of festival, I'd say.
And a lot of the pieces are framed too, right?
Framed, yeah, like ready to go, wired, hanging, ready.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like that's a big draw. And then also a big part of it is the giant puppet parade, which I
Hmm.
was thinking someone asked me recently how when we first met, and I feel like maybe I just like saw you putting a puppet head on
Yeah,
once.
maybe.
And you had like a pink bang situation. And I was like, she's cool. And then I don't remember
Okay, yes. So
how we officially met.
that would have been the year that I wore the butterfly puppet.
Okay, yes.
That was the first year I participated. I think I'd come to the festival before, but at this point I knew like, oh, okay, anyone can jump in.
Yeah, literally.
Like, please.
Into a
They're like,
puppet.
please, there's so many puppets. We need people to wear the puppets.
Mhm.
And I knew Sally at that
Mhm.
point. So and that was the year I think that Michelle Levesque had just finished the Dalai Lama,
Yes, my God.
the giant llama sculpture. puppet
Mm-hmm.
that was so amazing. And I didn't know Michelle yet, but when we were working together at an elementary school recently for the residency we did, that came up. The kids, I think, were asking or something. I'm like, yeah, no, that's the first time I met Michelle. I remember being in awe
Yeah,
of
it's
her
incredible.
and being like, oh, this artist must have been flown in to like create these amazing puppets. Like Michelle, who lives in Situate, like what?
Yeah, it's incredible. I think Grace and I are like fangirls of Michelle.
Yeah.
Literally, we're like obsessed with her. She's very cool, and her art's amazing, and she's super creative and just like a true artist. Yeah.
Yep. Dovetail Studios, E.T. Wright Building. Joseph, Michelle, you're also on my list.
Yes, that'd be a good one too.
I have a very long list.
I know.
Living in this community.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, the festival's such a good time. The face painting line is hilarious because it's so long.
Yeah.
I remember my daughter wanting to wait in the face painting line, and I didn't have patience for it. I'm like, I can't even. She though was so determined. I think she was 4 years old at the time, and me and the grandparents were like taking turns.
Yeah.
She waited the whole time. It was so impressive. Her determination.
That is impressive.
We had like never seen this 4-year-old have so much patience. We're like, wow,
For anything.
really.
Yeah. The face painting is like, it's art. It's insane.
It's so
It's
good.
so good. But yeah, it's a long line.
It's a long line. But last year it was great. I volunteered for the face painting line and I brought all of my collaborative sketchbooks the second day.
Yep.
The first day I was just waiting in the line
And you were like, ooh.
like everyone else. I actually got there first thing.
Smart.
Like one of the first shuttles down I took with my kids and immediately right to the face painting line. So the front. But the next day when I was volunteering, yeah, I had all my markers and I spread those out. So it was great. Kids were just like drawing in the grass and like, you should do that. Yeah.
Cute. Yeah.
That was because I think that really helped the parents too. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you're going to wait in line, but look, you can draw with your
Yeah. There's things to do while you wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
The giant pup parade is so good. And then the shows. So you have the juried exhibitions.
Yep.
What is it? It's the youth show.
So we have the juried national exhibit, which is, like for adults.
Right.
And that is one of like our more prestigious exhibits. We get submissions from all over. And we have 3 judges for that. We typically get like over 500 submissions. So it's just like, it's insane.
Amazing. And is this through like Show Submit website? Yeah, it really is interesting. Whenever I don't think I've ever submitted to any other place through that before, but I get the emails and sometimes I'm just like, what? I could be submitting to some show in Missouri?
I know.
Like,
I saw one the other day that was like a bird exhibit. I was like, I should do that one, but I didn't. But
it's so cool. I'm glad you guys do that. I remember there was some big sculpture of an animal or something.
Yes, there was a giant rhino made out of Amazon cardboard.
Cool.
Yeah, there's some really amazing artwork in that exhibit. And I love the 3D work, so I'm hoping to see more of it this year. And then we typically have a Marshfield High School exhibit that runs alongside it, but this year we're doing our first ever juried high school exhibit, and you'll be a judge, which is really exciting.
I'm excited. It's fun too. I was just volunteering at Marshfield High for their art throwdown event, and it'll be cool to see if, like, at the opening, see some of those same familiar faces coming to visit their work.
Yeah, the high school art is so impressive. They're so creative, and they're like allow themselves to be super creative. As opposed to like as adults where I feel like you feel a bit more like, I don't know, restricted in that way, or you're not thinking in that way of like, I don't know. But anyways,
I know what you mean. That's I was talking about that last night at the after school program, and the elementary program I was working at. I was telling the kids that to follow their intuition and talking about like your first gut instinct.
Yeah.
And I told them, think about a 3-year-old scribbling. They're not overthinking. They're just scribbling, right? And so obviously you guys are doing a little bit more than just scribbling, but that impulse you should try to maintain because that's actually the superpower of a child. As you get older, that gets harder and harder.
Exactly.
And I always bring examples of my work for the kids to see. And And I pointed out some of the things on there. I'm like, see this? This looks like grass, right? It's actually just paper I splashed with a bunch of green and tore up. I didn't try to make it look exactly like grass. Like, I just went for it. But professional artists who are adults, like, it sometimes takes us a while to get into that mindset.
Exactly.
So just keep in mind that your first instinct, that's what I want you to be leaning on
Yeah,
today.
exactly.
So that's like sort of my little like big build up.
Right.
Get them going. Like, just whatever you think, just do it.
Yeah. Yes. Follow that and like exactly like encouraging that intuition and creativity. Yeah. Because they just have like this great sense of it.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm also working right now on recording. It's like going to be a 2-part podcast, doing a deep dive into the Greetings from Duval
Oh, cool.
Elementary residency program that you were a fantastic support in.
Okay. It was
So that was the greeting card program where I had 10 on-site visits at Duval Elementary School, making collaborative cards, and then a family night.
yeah.
So there were 5 days where I was on site, where I had one visiting artist joining us, and then all of you guys were there. So you're one of our visiting artists, and I would just like love to hear a little bit about your experience.
I feel like I expressed to you, I was like, I feel like an imposter. Like, why are you inviting me? And you're like, stop. But I was like really grateful to be asked. I think I spend so much of my time like supporting other artists and working in the community that I don't think of my own art as like valid sometimes. So I felt really like, I don't know, it was nice to be invited. So
Yeah, good.
but it was so cute. I mean, the kids were like really excited. They were so stoked to see you. And like super creative. And I think it was just a lot of fun and like an awesome program introducing various career paths in the arts. And I enjoyed the family night because I got to like meet Pam and like chat with Jess and Lindsay and Michelle. And it's just fun to see like the kids have opportunities to get involved in the arts. Especially I feel like art programming is like getting cut more and more, and so creating that opportunity is really important.
And I think too, for the families to see,
Yeah.
it's like the kids are like, I want to be an artist, and it's the parents who need to be like, oh, cool, yeah, you could do this. So we had you with your experience. We had Pam Golden, who's taught Montessori art. She's taught charter school art classes. She's a sculptor in her own right. Jess Hassett, co-owner of Levitate, and she's the creative mind behind Levitate. Michelle Levesque, who runs her own studio and does all sorts of different community projects. We taught at Duxbury Art Summer Camp together. Lindsay Boss, who's a sign painter at Trader Joe's and a fantastic collage artist. Is that all of us?
Yeah, I think you nailed him.
And then we had Marsha Ballou signed on originally,
Right.
but she and Michelle swapped out because Marsha had stuff going on.
Sure.
But to show the families to all these different career paths, and then obviously mine too. I was being transparent about all the different art jobs I have. Like I was sign painting on Monday. I was teaching an elementary school on Thursday. On Friday, I was teaching elderly people, and then I'm able to like book in a studio day here and there where I'm building my own work. And so I also had all artists bring all their own art. All right, we should pause. I think Jeff's coming up. Jeff, are you coming up?
Here he comes.
Hello, I paused already. It's so awkward. There's no way to.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I just gotta put this in the freezer.
I'm gonna make you like crawl through one of the bedroom windows next time. We have no exit or entrance on the other side of our house.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
Looking at your plants, they're so peaceful.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Do you want that one actually? Because
Probably kill it.
I've split it so many times. I have like too many of them.
No, I shouldn't. I'm not I don't like great sunspots. Limited, super limited.
Yeah, that's key.
Yeah.
Jeff, you got an overflow freezer there?
Oh, there's everything in it.
Now what are you doing?
So I'm leaving.
Are you getting water first?
I'm not.
Okay, goodbye. I should make an edit of all the podcasts where it's
should.
just
It's
the
like a
clip of
blooper.
Jeff coming through.
You should. Honestly.
Oh my gosh. All right. Someday when I have an intern, I'll have them do that. Okay. So at the family night at Duval, I was trying to highlight all the different jobs all artists have. And I even made a little sub page on my website with QR codes so family could go. They could see these are the artists. These are the type of jobs they have. And then also I made a brief list of a bunch of the art hubs where to get involved in the local arts community. But I also had you guys bring some of your own artwork so they could see that. And we really haven't dug into your painting practice at all. And I want to hear about it because I love your work.
Thank you.
It is giving folk vibes. I'm seeing stories that I'm, projecting onto them. I'm sure you have like your own backstories.
Sure.
Using photographs, mixed media, iconography. So tell me a little bit about your studio practice and what like style of art and like what type of artists do you look to? Where's your inspiration?
So I think a lot of my inspiration comes like from local artists, because I spend so much time around them. Like Marsha's huge, Sally Jean, all like the usual suspects. But we did like a demo series at North River, maybe like a couple years ago. We started it, and I would help run those, and that was kind of like the kickstart for me to get back into painting. Because I was seeing these artists work on their work and like just felt really inspired by it. And I actually got into oil painting that way, which I had never done. And I really enjoyed oil painting. I just like was like the texture of it. I didn't really know like where I was going with it, but just was like enjoying the process of learning it. And then I got pregnant and was like, I shouldn't be using oils. And yes, probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's one of those things where it's kind of like it could be fine, but also
Who knows?
maybe not.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of like going with it right now. Like currently I found a bunch of vintage photographs at an antique mall in Plymouth, and I'm just having a lot of fun like doing mixed media on top of those. And it's also a really easy way for me to get in the studio and like do something quickly because I don't have as much time.
Did you do acrylic while you were pregnant?
Yes, sorry, like skipped over that whole part.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of implied.
Yeah,
I guess.
acrylic.
You didn't just stop painting. Yeah.
No, yes, I was still painting, and in a lot of ways, I think I found more of like a voice and a style.
Yes, I think so too.
I feel like my work became more like you said, like folk art is a huge inspiration for me, and it's like the storytelling, it's the symbolism, because I definitely want my art to like tell a story. I'm not like a hyper realistic painter. I'm not like, honestly, I'm like not very good at like landscapes and stuff. So I'm just like trying to tell a story. It's also a way for me to like express myself and feelings I'm feeling, and hopefully people can relate to those, or like you said, like make up your own story that feels.
Yeah, I mean, your pieces you were making just really spoke to me about being pregnant.
Yeah, sure.
Like some of your pieces with like the home and like the roots and the trees and like the way you did it, it really spoke to me about my journey through growing a human inside of me and being their home.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, then the work transitions too, because then it's like, okay, now they're out in the world. And yeah, I just feel like that is what, I mean,
Yeah.
that is what was giving me all of those feelings when I was looking at that work. And I love to see that. And that's such a common experience.
Yeah.
Right. And then of course I have the background knowledge that I know you personally. So I knew you were pregnant, like having a baby and going through that. But yeah, I think it's really fun to kind of just see how that is all coming out for you.
Totally. I think it was like, obviously, like you said, like many people have been pregnant before me. So it was like, I wasn't, but for me, it was like a super profound experience. And of course, for every person, you're like, it's a wild experience. And so it was my way of like expressing these things that were huge feelings and really like moving experiences that I kind of wanted to remember too. And yeah, I just felt like really inspired during that time. And when she was first born, I was able to get in my studio a lot because she would just like sleep, and felt really inspired during that time as well. Just like really big life moments. So, I'm struggling right now, to be totally honest, with like finding the time.
Yes.
It's been a struggle. So I haven't been able to get in the studio like at all. But it's okay. It'll come back to me. It's like one of those things where it's just like it ebbs and flows, like you were just saying over text the other day. And,
Yep.
I know it will come back to me, but as someone that's like, art is not something that I get to do or is like a hobby for me. It's like I have to do it.
Yeah.
Or I feel insane and like not like myself and chaotic, and I like spiral. So I'm like really trying to work on that. And I think, like I said, those little vintage photographs have been a really easy way for me to just like get in the studio for a couple hours when she goes to bed, and like they're usually a one sitting type of thing, so that feels good. But yeah, it's a balance, and it's hard, especially when you're working and
Yeah.
you get
Yeah, like being a wife, a friend, a daughter, a mother, like all of the things, it takes up so much space. And I remember specifically, like when my youngest was 8 months old, I was losing it. That's when I started leaning on more on like daycare support. I have a great friend, Alicia, who I went to high school with, who does like a home daycare. So it was like, I don't know that I would have jumped to like put him in like a traditional like standard daycare, because like it's not like I was going to work, but I knew I needed that studio time and I needed that time to myself. So I'm always thanking Alicia. I'm like, you don't even know, like I needed this so bad. But yeah, you're in the thick of it right now. Like this is a phase where I remember I think it might have been after my first daughter, where my dear friend and sister-in-law Kayla Gilmore was having a huge spurt of artistic growth. She was really finding this new style in her pottery where she was things were just looking like they always were supposed to, more like whimsical and woodland fairy vibes. Like I don't even know. Her work is so magical.
It is.
And I remember specifically looking at that and being like, I am so happy for her because I know what that is like. And that is also, I'm so envious. Like, not jealous. I want her to have it. And I'm super excited about her having it. But I have no access to that right now.
Yeah.
I know it's coming though.
Right.
I know it's coming back. I know it's just not right now.
Yeah.
And I think that is actually when I started leaning on sketchbooks more and just doodling, playing, and like you're saying, like doing a one sitting thing, just doing some sketch of a houseplant and never looking at it again.
It can get like real dramatic where I'm like, my artist, like it's gone, you know? But then I just like literally sat in front of the TV the other night and sketched for like an hour, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And like, you see these artists that are like really digging into their craft, and you're like, I want to be doing that. And it's not like the inspiration is gone. It's still like that need to do it is still very much present, but you're just like, how? Right. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. And like you said, I know it will come.
Yeah.
It's mostly like I need to make time for it. Like no one else is going to give me the time. So I need to like figure it out myself. And it's also just a really busy time at work, festival. So it's like, once festival is over, I'm going to have a lot more free time and it'll happen.
And I think it's sort of too, it's like obviously having a consistent studio practice makes a difference. And we know that. And like we have our inspiration and the work we want to make and all that. But I think also the way you're talking about it being like so important for you just to do for like your mental health, that is 100% the same for me. Like it's just a way when I am drawing or when I'm painting or when I'm making art or pottery or whatever, it's my brain is doing some like background processing that I don't have access to in other ways. It's hard to really describe. But yeah, there's something happening in the old noodle while I'm making work that I just need.
Right.
So it's like, like just giving yourself the grace to just make something and just doodle and not even have it be something that's finished, just to allow for space for that processing to happen.
Exactly.
It is definitely something I've always leaned on since childhood.
Right. It's just been part of our lives, and then suddenly it's not for some period of time, and it feels very confusing and a little disorienting. But I think like I feel lucky to still be working in the arts, be like exposed to it, so it's not like I'm totally disconnected from it. And I try to find like moments in my day-to-day where I'm like put on a cute outfit or like rearrange a corner of my house a little bit, and like those are kind of like ways I can feel creative too, without going crazy.
Just a little.
Just a little crazy.
I mean, you got to. You got to like
Keeps it fun.
keep it spicy, you know? Oh my gosh. Okay. So any closing ideas on things you might have told your younger self, you know, where you're kind of bopping around, trying to find your place? Anything that comes up for you there, or like thinking about other young local artists? Or I'm giving you too many questions at once. Or even older people who are just like, maybe I'll,
totally.
you know, like where does your head go with all that?
I think like I would tell my younger self to just pursue the arts and like don't listen to the noise, because I think a lot of people were like, I wanted to get into fashion and they were like, tough industry, like don't do that. But I wish I had just like done what I wanted to do and followed that. I think obviously I ended up back in the arts anyways. And then for like everyone else, I would like to say just like the arts are for everyone, genuinely. And you don't have to know what you're doing or like have experience in it. You can just pick it up, and like it's such an enjoyable hobby and like thing to learn, and it just feels good. I think it's something with, like you said, with our brains, like it just feels nice to be present. And so I'd say try it out. And there's so many different forms of art that you can try, not just like painting and traditional art. So
don't put so much pressure on yourself.
Exactly. Just like try something. If it doesn't work, do something else. And get involved and meet some new people, because there's some amazing artists in our community. And buy art if you can.
Yes, buy art. Support the art. Buy art while we're alive.
Right.
Please, thank you.
Please.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course.
This was awesome.
It was nice.
All right. Thank you, Julia.